Hello, I'm the cartoonist M. Rashid. This cartoon was made uh, to illustrate a real life event where one of the activists actually experienced this in Twitter when she said that she was one of the food vendors and she told them up front not to put those non-Black American ethnic group who the Juneteenth holiday is actually celebrating our freedom, specifically us. That's our holiday, and all the extremely disrespectful Black immigrants are just trying to make it whatever they want to make it. And she was the food vendor, and she was had a certain amount of leverage to press. So she was like, I showed up. They had all that stuff when I specifically told them not to, and I took my stuff and left. You know, it was a powerful moment, a good thread, reading through the story. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got to draw this. It would be irresponsible not to draw this. So I did, my version of the event, and so I'm gonna remind myself to hunt down that tweet because I made sure I saved it. So share the link to her actual tweet where she's talking about it in the description here. So the important aspect is that Black Americans, the Black American former slave class, the American descendants of slavery, are extremely disrespected. We've been trying to walk down our civil rights and stuff like that since slavery was abolished. It's been 150 years of being completely disrespected. Our longtime foes and rivals keep kicking the can of our justice down. They keep pretending to do stuff for us and then packaging it for themselves. And then, when literally nothing changes for us because they only pretended to put stuff in place for us, then they blame it on us. This has been 150 years of that bamboozle. So one of the key parts of that dance is instead of us having the transformational politics we need, they keep putting token symbolism stuff out there. Here you go, Martin Luther King's birthday. Here's Juneteenth. It's now a federal holiday, and it's how is that helping me? Be pulled up out of the artificial, impoverished state that generations of accrued discrimination have done to me. How is that helping me? It's not. So they'll do that trash all day. Okay, the blackies are crying again. They're just throw them a bone. Here, we put Blackie Day on this bone. Here, fetch. That's my relationship with the dominant political identity who's hoarding wealth and opportunity and keeping it from me. So it's the one thing I have, this little symbol federal holiday, and his model minority lackeys are, coming right behind him like Igor and disrespecting me too. Got some stuff that will set me off. I mentioned I was talking about my dad and Tiger Woods in the previous video and stuff, and it occurred to me as I was signing off, I'm turned into my dad in a lot of ways. I recognize that, like him, I am not pleasant to be around. I admit this freely up front. It's a special type of family that I have with me, and I know I can be a bit much, just like my dad was a bit much. I recognize this freely. And part of what I need is, something to focus on that's worthwhile outside of my family so that I'm not driving them crazy all the time. So It's a blessing to be woke, to see the problems and see where those lines go, and you know where to chase it. So there's a reason why we have anger. Anger by itself is not a sin. The emotion is not a sin to feel it. You see injustice and you know the vile oppressor like doing stuff, and like you're supposed to get angry or stuff like that. You know, and to be able to have the opportunity to put it somewhere where some good is happening. I think that's very important, and it goes hand in hand with healing in our humanity. And especially for us as the ethnic group. That's the most marginalized and the most abused. You know, I know a lot of my dad's stuff is he didn't have a lot of places to put those things at the end, and he was just in the end just mad just to be mad. You know, so I think I have to thank God for the rise of the ADOS movement. I think it's a great blessing in multiple ways, including personally. And I thank God and I thank him for blessing Tony and Yvette from having that vision and to pursue it. The amount of courage it takes to be like a activist in front of the people like that takes a great amount of courage. I admire those two greatly. All right, so I know this one is late. We're nowhere near June 19th, but happy June 19th, people. Peace.